Today begins the 3 weeks. It is Shiva Asur B'Tammuz, the beginning of the Bein Hametzarim, the time between straits, a stint of time on the Jewish calendar marked for remembrance and mourning, bookended by Shiva Asur B'Tammuz and the eventual Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. And perhaps the same way that a doctor is less concerned about his patient's runny nose, because he's more focused about the cause of it, the root illness and bacteria, the infection in his patient's body, perhaps it would follow that while we are mourning what we have lost, we should also focus on the Siba, the sins that cause this destruction, so that we can seek to rectify it. Because after all, it is our job to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash through Tikkun Amidus, Halacha, Torah, and Avodas Hashem. So we begin in unraveling this puzzle for the cause of the destruction from a Mishnah in Mesachta Tannis that tells us that on Shiva Asur B'Tammuz 5 calamities and tragedies befell the Jewish people. Number 1, Moshe broke the luchos. Number 2, the carbon hatomib ceased to be brought. Number 3, the walls of Yerushalayim were breached. Number 4, a posthumous burned Ezra's famous Sefer Torah. Number 5, an idol was placed inside the Beis Hamikdash. And I found in Rabbi Gladstein's great work on the 3 weeks an unbelievable vart from the great Oruch L'neir Yaakov Ettlinger, the Baal Mincha Shai, the Baal Bikurei Yaakov, the Baal Oruch L'neir. And interestingly enough, this 19th century Gaon was one of the Rabbeim of Rav Shamshin Raphael Hirsch. Now he tells us that the 5 events here are not in a random order, but they are actually documentation of the sequence of the descent of a Jewish person, of a Jewish community, and of Klal Yisrael, God forbid. That it starts where a person will break his luchos. It begins with a slacking off in one's steadfast devotion to Torah study, breaking the luchos. Luchos represent Torah. I can miss today's daf yomi. I don't need to learn be'iyun. Eventually that leads to a bottle hatomid, and now there is no more davening. I don't need to go for a minyan. I can daven in the office. I'll put tefillin on at home. I don't like their nusach. I'll go here. There's bottle hatomid. There's no more tefillah. Then it turns into breaching the walls. You are now without any sort of guardians on your walls, and things enter just pouring into your house, into your body, into the community. It's not a wonder why you select other sort of gross, putrid foods, because ultimately one is bereft of spirituality. His walls have been broken. 4th, a posthumous. He then burns the Torah openly, where now there's nothing left of this Jewish person. The community, even Lulav, even Hanukkah, even the Pesach Seder are now gone. It's been burned. And now lastly, God forbid, there is nothing, because there is a tselem. There is an idol inside of the Beis Hamikdash. Your Judaism, your Yahadus has been replaced by an idol. Your children marry non-Jews. There's nothing to be shown for your Yiddishkeit. Tragedy. And it all could have been prevented if a person would have stayed strong in his Torah learning. If he would have stayed in that daf yomi, he would have stayed in his iyun. If he would have stuck to his kovata item la Torah. Reb Sadia Gaon tells us that the nation of the Jewish people are not a nation that is bound together by the same ideals and the same logic and the same morals, but no, ein ha'uma ela b'Torah. We're only a nation because of the Torah. Commit to your Siddharim. Set yourself up chavrusas. Stay true to Torah study, because after that, things unravel rather quickly. And eventually, God forbid, it ends in an idol being placed in the Beis Hamikdash.